Hello. In this video, we're going to be taking the blog that we've been working on, and instead of deploying it to a WordPress theme, we're going to deploy it to a SiteGrinder site and see the advanced blog that SiteGrinder now supports if you have the WordPress and Advanced Blog plugin. The Photoshop file I'm working on now, it's very similar to the one we saw back at B7. It's the one with the single and the post and the comments and the form and that sort of stuff, but it does not have any of the WordPress specific things on it. There are no WP sidebar, WP widget, WP menu tree. None of these layers are being used because that WP hint marks things for WordPress only. Also to know when you're working with blogs for SiteGrinder is that you can't use the reserved layer comp names. So the SiteGrinder advanced blog does not support single page, archive page, author page, these sorts of things that WordPress does. So that's another difference between them. One other last detail that we want to keep in mind when we're working with the SiteGrinder blog is if you do not put a login link on the page, then there will not be one. So you definitely want to have a button named blog login dash button, or use an identifier such as the one we've got here at the very bottom of the page here that is a has the blog login link as part of the blog data layer. So when this one is all set, then we're just going to go ahead and this has been built. We'll go ahead and deploy it to a new site and see what we get there. So we'll open up SiteGrinder, and again, this has already been built. So we're going to make a new site, and we'll just call this Advanced Blog, and we will make a new site directory for it, and I'll just place that just here real quick. All right, excellent. All right, so those are the main thing that SiteGrinder needs to know. And now we're selecting the content management system. Now the blogs, when you're using Quick Blog, the posts, those sorts of hints, they can only deploy to either a WordPress theme, which we saw in an earlier video, or the remote CMS, PHP remote CMS. So I'll just go ahead and use that, and I'll set up a very simple username and password here for our admin. And other than that, we are done. So I'm chosen this new site, and I'll just go ahead and deploy to it. Now, when SiteGrinder, when the blog is deployed and it's being displayed by the SiteGrinder engine, you're just going to see a dummy blog, similar to what you saw in the Design Manager, except even a little simpler. So as you can see here, this has just been reduced now down to welcome to blog title, the title of post, this is your blog. There's really nothing here. The blog functionality requires PHP, just much the same that WordPress is, and also similar to the old blog hint that SiteGrinder still supports. So to see this run properly, we're going to need to run it from a PHP server. Now I happen to have one, so I'll just go ahead and start up MAMP there, and I'll just change this to Advanced Blog, and we will go ahead and open up our page. So, so here's the page, but it's without posts at this point in time. So the other thing I'm going to need to do is actually log into the admin system and give this a username and password for the blog. So if we're in the Content Manager now, we can see there is a blog section, and there is, for the configuration, there's just really one control, a username and password. So we'll go ahead and give this a password, username of user, and a password of pass. And now I'll just close out the Content Manager here, just hide it. And now we'll actually go ahead and log into our blog. So I'll just go ahead and log in and type in user and pass. That needs to be just a little bit. There we go. And once we log in, now we're on the admin, which is at the moment pretty bare bones. I can, if I want, just make a new post. So let's just do that very quickly. So first, Chris, and this is the first post of the rest of my blog. And very nice. We can also upload images to this blog, set links and upload files for those links, these sorts of things. I'm not going to do all that. Hopefully this is on screen for the video, but I'll just go ahead and submit this post. And now we can see it in this post list there. So if I want, I can come over here and click View Blog, and now we can actually see the blog. So here's the title I gave it first. This is the first post for the rest of my blog. And if I go to the single blog view, I can now see that single blog view, and I can log in and make a comment, and so on and so forth. So go back to the, you know, so we can have you know, the comments and all that sort of stuff. Go back to the blog admin. The blog has some settings. So if you come here to the blog settings, you can also set the username and password from here once you're in the blog admin. You can control a bunch of different settings, but one of the more useful settings, the number of posts that display at a time, if it displays newest to oldest or oldest to newest, things like that. But one of the most important things you can do is control the CAPTCHA. So you can set up a choose to have no CAPTCHA at all, meaning that comments will just be allowed to pass through, or a very simple CAPTCHA, or use reCAPTCHA, which is a third-party CAPTCHA, which is free. You just sign up, and you enter for reCAPTCHA, you sign up for reCAPTCHA, and you enter your public key and your private key here, and then you'll be able to use the reCAPTCHA to stop people, to prevent spam bots from putting spam comments on your blog. And so that is, in a nutshell, the SiteGrinder 3 Advanced blog. You just use that layer, deploy it to your site, and then from there you can configure the username and password in the Content Manager, and go on. Another thing to remember is that the Advanced blog, that SiteGrinder pages, that has this page, that if I make a new page using this page as a template, that page will also have its own blog. So if this is the blog for Chris, but you know, Janine also needs a blog, well, I can just come here in the Content Manager, make a new page, and say Janine's blog, and I can spell it, and I can say, well, we're going to make this from this particular template. I don't have a menu to append it onto at the moment, and I'll just go ahead and say OK. And now there's Janine's blog, and it can be configured with her own username and password, and now we can log in over here, and Janine can make her own posts, and have her own blog page. And so I'll just go ahead and do that. Janine says hi, and Janine, welcome, and go ahead and put that post through, and let's view the blog. So there we go. So we have our first blog page and Janine's blog page, and both made from the same template. One last comment about the advanced SiteGrinder blog. When you're working with these hints, the post data, posts, all these sorts of things, and going out to WordPress, you can't use some of the advanced content manager layers on those same things because WordPress doesn't support them. Galleries, for example, gallery elements like picture box, panel sheets, thumb sheets, these cannot be used when going to a WordPress theme. Xmedia cannot be used when going to a WordPress theme. The e-commerce hints cannot be used when going to a WordPress theme. But if you're going to the remote CM and using the SiteGrinder Advanced blog, you can use those things on your pages. And so if you want to have a blog and a gallery, a blog and an Xmedia, all those sorts of things, the e-commerce, that's all very possible. And so that's how you can use the blog and these other elements together if you're going out to the SiteGrinder's remote content management system, but not if you're going to WordPress, because WordPress doesn't have support for those types of content management entities. Hope this was useful, and thank you very much.